we've got some pretty positive Canucks news. If you wanted to talk about some of the guys that will be defining the future of this team, let's head over to the 2024 NHL Entry Draft and reveal whom it is Corey Pronman of The Athletic ranks in a 2-year later redraft. This was posted onto the R Canucks subreddit. It's a gift article, so we can go out there and read this piece without paying for the Athletic subscription. Pronman posted this yesterday, and I wanted to highlight some of the Vancouver Canucks names that were mentioned on this redraft. Obviously, it's the 2024 draft. The number one guy is going to be Macklin Celebrini. You've got some other names as well. Beckett Seneca, Ivan Demidov, Cole Hudson is here too. But then, if you take a look at it, there are some Vancouver Canucks guys that we should be paying attention to. In the number 5 spot in this 2024 redraft, Corey Pronman lists Vancouver Canucks defenseman Zeev Buium as a 7-spot improvement over the actual 12th overall position that he was selected by Minnesota during the real-life draft. And then, if you scroll all the way into the middle part of this redraft, you'll see 62nd overall in the mock, Basile Sansonnens. This is a really interesting addition to the list, and he's one of the highest risers because Sansonnens was originally drafted 221st overall by the Vancouver Canucks. Sansonnens is ranked above E.J. Emery, who was a first-rounder back in 2024. So with that in mind, let's talk today about Zeev Buium out of the Vancouver Canucks and his improvement from 2 years ago until now, and we'll also use this time to talk about Basile Sansonnens, as well as this article from Chris Faber, one of my good buddies in the business who wrote about Sansonnens in his Building Blue series for Canucks.com. Starting things out, though, this is the easy conversation to have. Zeev Buium went from 12th overall in the actual draft to 5th overall in Corey Pronman's redraft, and that's not really too surprising. It's not surprising because Zeev Buium was supposed to probably be a top pick anyway in 2024. I mean, Craig Button had him at number 4, period. ISS had him at 6, Elite Prospects at 7. The lowest ranking over here was McKeen's, who had Zeev Buium at number 9, alongside of future considerations who also had him there. The fact that he went 12th was already kind of a sin in the eyes of many prospect analysts at the time in 2024. Never mind the fact that Zeev Buium was one of 4 pieces traded over to Vancouver in the Quinn Hughes trade. Buium finished off this most recent campaign with 26 points in 76 games played. Not a great measure by any means, like the point production doesn't stand off the page as being somebody who's going to replace Quinn Hughes, but if you give Zeev Buium more power play time, you allow this guy, who is only 20 by the way, to continue developing and growing his game. I do think that a Quinn Hughes level ceiling does exist within Zeev Buium. It's just, we aren't there yet. Like, the guy was so productive in the NCAA, so productive at all the tournaments that he had played for. He's won gold everywhere he has gone. This is a winner, a pure winner, and he was already projected to go super high in 2024, only to slip down to the 12th overall spot. He was seen as a steal when he was drafted, and he's even more of a steal now that he can hold his own in the National Hockey League on one of the worst teams in the league. Let's see if Pronman has an actual write-up here. No, he does not. He just has the draft list and the names listed in order over here. Quite the interesting collection of guys, if I'm being honest. But Zeev Buium goes from 12 to 5. He's a Vancouver Canuck. That's great to see. Let's talk about the more surprising addition, though. Basile Sansonnens from 221st overall to 62nd in a redraft. Sansonnens is also 20, 6'4", 205, another left-handed defenseman, and a guy the Vancouver Canucks selected near the very end of that 2024 draft. This guy doesn't stand off the page much either. He had 3 points in 44 Lausanne HC games in Switzerland in 2025-2026. This is coming off of 12 points in 54 Rimouski Oceanic games in 24-25, which also included 5 points in 23 games in the playoffs over there. Sansonnens is not going to wow you with points, but if you look at some of the updates that we have seen about this guy over the year, Daniel G. Scouting tweeted about one of the Lausanne games that he had watched with Sansonnens earlier in January, and he says that Sansonnens is tall, he's heavy too, with range that he uses aggressively, he's hard to break through when he widens his base and boxes players out, he takes away sticks, and he has lots of defensive details. I like his mobility too. A reply goes out there and jokes that Sansonnens can be David Reinbacher light, and that kind of tickles my fancy as a dual Canadiens and Canucks fan. But to really get a look as to what Sansonnens has done, let's head over to this article, Building Blue. Chris Faber, earlier on the Canucks website a few weeks ago, wrote about how Sansonnens is looking to add to his game in his second pro season. This past year, he made the jump to Switzerland's top pro league and represented his home country at the World Juniors. He has enjoyed the process of being a Canucks prospect and remarks that it is wonderful to have somebody whom you can rely on and be able to ask questions when there's a speed bump or roadblock in his development. Sansonnens works with both Mikael Samuelsson and Mike Komisarek, but the addition of Alex Edler will surely provide support for Sansonnens this year. This coming season will be the first time that Sansonnens will play for the same team in 2 consecutive seasons, and that excites the then 19-year-old because it helps him bring more confidence in the training camp after earning trust from the organization as a teenager last year. I was starting to get really confident at the end of the year, and now I am going back to the same team where I know the staff and I know the players, so that's much easier than having to change everything and learn so much at the start of the season. I'm excited to get started in the fall and keep building on what I did last year, Sansonnens said. His first full season of pro hockey was a big step up from the QMJHL, and he quickly learned how fast pros can take advantage of mistakes on the ice. It was also another adjustment period for him to return to the big ice used in the National League in Switzerland compared to the North American-sized ice in the Q. You need to have good feet and always be alert. If your brain is out for 2 seconds, you know it's going to be bad. Sansonnens liked the way he improved throughout the season and was content about how he was able to play his physical style against men as a teenager himself. He is 6'4", 200-plus pounds, and plans to have another big off-season of training so he can be even bigger and stronger and lean on his good skating and physicality to continue taking steps to improve his game, so that he can one day make the jump to North America and be a pro. Next season, he wants to show that he can do more with the puck and help create more offense with his shots from the point. He has a heavy shot that can beat screen goaltenders or bring rebounds to his teammates around the net, but it feels like he can do that a lot more than he did last season with Lausanne. Now this is funny too, Sansonnens also talks about the guy that he's playing with. His line mate is Erik Brannstrom, former Vancouver Canuck and former Ottawa Senators first-round draft pick. Senators? No, Vegas Golden Knight, excuse me. He was traded to Ottawa in the Mark Stone trade, that's what it was. But Erik Brannstrom, a guy that we all remember here in Vancouver, Sansonnens says Brannstrom is so nasty. He'll do like 20 spin moves a game, and he never loses the puck. He's a really nice guy and always makes it fun around the rink. When I skate with him, there is so much to learn about how a defenseman can play with the puck and see the ice. Now, I just hope Sansonnens, for his own sake, he doesn't end up becoming Erik Brannstrom 2.0, but he already has a lot more defensive poise, I would say, than Brannstrom ever did as a Vancouver Canuck, so that's going in his favor as well. We'll see what Sansonnens is able to do over the next 2 years or so, and how he's able to transition to North America post-Switzerland. But for now, he's another one of these guys that was able to improve his draft stock quite tremendously since being taken at the end of the 2024 draft. Corey Pronman's mock draft has him as a second rounder, and he has Zeev Buium as a top 5 guy. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. How do you feel about this upgrade, and how do you feel about these 2 Vancouver Canucks young guys heading into the next few years? I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.